Thank God.
Keep him in there then.
So we're live, but we're gonna wait like 2 minutes for everyone to, because we're live on a different link than the one I copied. So we need to give, like, let's chill for about 2 minutes. Let me just tweet it out with the right link. I'm pretty sure they'll get like a notification saying I'm live, or maybe not. I don't even know how this shit works. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
I can't hear Toast. I think he's muted.
Yeah, I was muted. Sorry, I was yelling at my dog.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh, so we got a clown on our hands.
All right. All right.
Viewers felt icy this morning, I see.
So let's. All right. I think everyone's in. Actually, it looks like I see all the old comments from the other one, so I think we're good to go. Real quick, yesterday overall not a great day, but the sauce was in the green. So even though we celebrate as a team, I finished. What was I, like plus 1.9 units or plus 2.2 or something? I'll take it. Plan on continuing my green streak. Oh my God, I switched you guys up. Someone said, when did Toast start wearing glasses? I put you guys in the wrong screens. Whoops. You know what? I'll fix your guys' juju. Well, Toast only had one bad day in a row. Prop Beaver's the one who's ice cold.
That juju's coming around.
Yesterday, I mean, it was such as far as units, but a couple of the plays I'm not even mad about. Baseball.
Yeah, that shit happens. Oh my God, I didn't. Alright, Toasty Sam's 13. And Prop Beaver. There we go. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started with the first game, which is Angels at Marlins. Shohei Ohtani. Toast, why don't you start us off with the first game?
Yeah, I'd love to. Obviously, like you said, we got Shohei on the mound for the Angels. And I guess for us as a company, historically, we've loved to fade Shohei Ohtani on the road. And that does not change here today. Look, the Marlins have been playing fantastic baseball, 7-3 their last 10. Obviously on the heels of some of that pitching staff. But if you take a look at Trevor Rogers, his numbers at home are much worse. But if you take a look at the teams that he's played in those games, we're talking about Mets, Braves, Brewers, Phillies, all those teams, very good hitting teams. I don't see the Angels fitting that bill. So I'm going to take the Marlins plus the 1.5 on the at minus 125 for 0.75 units. And then I'm also going to take the over, Angels, Marlins over 7 at plus 100 for half a unit as well. I think both teams can get a couple runs here. 7's a very low number. And like I said, Miami just seems to be scoring runs, especially at home. So, like I said, I'm going to take that cushion with the 1.5 and the over at 7.
Over at 7, that's at plus 100, right? And a half unit or 0.75 on the over?
Half unit, please.
You got it. All right. Toast bets are in. I'll go second on this one because I'm pretty much on the same page. So obviously when I first glance on it, Shohei Ohtani, I want to go Angels, right? And then I see a minus 166 price tag. And I'm like, fuck that. But I keep digging. All the money's on the Angels. Shit, that sucks. But I'm not giving up yet. I want to bet the Angels. I'm still digging. All right, well, let's see how the Angels are against lefties, because the Marlins have Trevor Rogers pitching. They suck. That's pretty terrifying. In the last month, they're 28th in the MLB against lefties. Shit. I really want to bet the Angels. Let's keep digging. Here's the kicker where I figured out that I absolutely cannot bet the Angels under any circumstances. Ready for this? In the past week, the Los Angeles Angels, as a team, have a combined 394 OPS. That's 30th in the MLB. 394. The next closest, 29th, has 597. So they're to more than 200 points behind the next closest team in the MLB. It's the worst I've ever seen. This team is just not hitting at all, so I will fade them at all costs. until they show me otherwise. I'm going to have 2 bets. Miami first 5 plus a half run, and that is at -110. Let's throw a halfer on that. And then Miami, you know what? I'm just going to go full game. Miami plus 1.5, -125 for a full unit. I like it. I'll put a full unit on it. Take that run and a half. Prop Beaver, are you on the same page as us?
Yeah, I just did it a little differently. So I have Miami in the first 5 plus a half a run. That's at -105. I'm going to put a half unit on that. And then I also have the first 5 under 3.5. I put a full unit on that. I'm feeling quite good about that. Reason why is Ohtani's on a different planet right now. Buddy in his last 4 starts has a 3.8 ERA, 0.75 whip, 36.3 K percentage. I mean, we've all seen what he's been doing. The guy's putting on a show. And he's really only been lit up 3 times this year. Only 3 times in his, I think, 3 times in his 13 starts has he allowed 2 or more runs. That was to the Yankees, that was to the Blue Jays, and that was to the Texas Rangers. Miami Marlins can hit the ball, but I don't really think they fit the bill of those teams, especially without Jazz Chisholm. So I think Ohtani's going to be able to keep them in check, especially if Syndergaard, who I thought was in a horrible spot yesterday, was able to keep them in check. And then on the other side of things, we've got the Los Angeles Angels, and I mean, this team is ball sack. The Los Angeles Angels has scored more than 2 runs against a starting pitcher on the road just one time, once, in their last 18 games. Over the last 3 weeks on the road, they are 30th in every single category. And then when you bring up the fact that Trevor Rogers is indeed a left-handed pitcher, he's been facing much tougher competition. I think that this is a fantastic spot for him. They have some of his props at some suspiciously low totals in terms of earned runs and stuff like that. So I think that both guys dominate on the mound through the first 5. I think they keep it close. I think the Marlins maybe get a run. Maybe it's 0-0. Who knows? But I definitely think that the first 5 goes under.
So first 5 under 4.5. What were the odds? And bet? How much did you bet?
-115 full unit.
There you go. That was your only official bet for this one, right?
No, Miami first 5 plus a half a run, -105 for a half unit.
I looked at that same bet. All right, so there you go. We're off and rolling, and I like how we're kind of all on the same side here, because I almost took the Miami on that first 5 run line as well. On the run line. So there we go. There we have that first game. Let's go ahead and move on to the next one, which is the Metropolitans coming off a disappointing loss. Damn, that sucked. I'll go ahead. You know what? Beaver, you went last. Why don't you start us off this time?
So I really wanted to go with Graham Ashcraft over 2.5 earned runs, but the more and more I look at it, I mean, once the Mets get past the starting pitcher, they can't hit a bullpen. We've already seen it this series. Yesterday was absolutely pathetic. So I'm going with the under here. I'm going under 10. I'm only putting a half unit on it for -110. This is actually a pretty good spot for both of these guys. David Peterson's best spot has been on the road. And against some right-handed batters. He's going to be seeing a ton of those tonight in the Reds lineup. And the Reds lineup at home hasn't been hitting lefties like we were riding earlier in the season. Earlier in the season, they were a cash cow. I was riding them every single game in the first 5, and they were making me tons of money. Past 3 games, they've been getting absolutely shut out, so I'm not really fond of them there. And then on the other side, we've got Ashcraft, who, yes, he's looked bad in 3 of his past 4 starts, but those were against relatively hot lineups. The Mets lineup, I don't think it's possible that they could be any colder at the moment. And also, he's really good at pitching against left-handed batters. There's going to be 5 of those in the Mets lineup tonight. So I'm just going with the under. It's only a half a unit. I'm not really stressing about it. And I think that's probably the best value play. I'm seeing this more near like 8 runs, 7 runs. 10 runs is a bit much for me.
I'll go next because I'm thinking the same exact thing. I'm going to go under 10, and I'll put 0.75 on it. Dude, these lineups just suck right now. I know why the total is so high. It's because you have 2 lineups that can score runs against 2 shaky starting pitchers. But I don't care if they can score runs. The truth is they're not scoring runs. So it's almost like their potential of how many runs they could score is meaningless to me because they're not scoring runs right now. So what the hell?
It's also 10 because it's in Cincinnati, and it's one of the highest over parks in Major League Ball.
I know, but what these two teams? I mean, wasn't it 0-0 going into the 9th last night?
I was looking at their past 10 games, and both of them have very high hit rates to the under, especially at this total. So,
yeah, I was looking at it before. David Peterson pitching for the Mets. Now, normally you would jump on Cincinnati against a lefty if you rewind about 3 weeks ago, but those stats have disappeared also in the last 2 weeks. They're, I think, 17th or 18th against left-handed pitching, so the Reds aren't even hitting lefties like that anymore. This one was simple for me. It was just under 10, without a doubt. Didn't even need to pick a side because the number's too high.
Yeah, I don't play unders in Cincinnati unless I really love it. I don't really see it here. I like the Mets. I like the Mets in the first 5 minus 0.5. I'll do it for a full unit. Actually, make it 0.75 because I'm going to use them in a parlay as well. So Mets first 5 minus 0.5. What is that number? Minus 115 for 0.75 units. David Peterson's looked absolutely fantastic his last couple of starts. Look at the strikeout numbers too, 7, then 8, then 10. So he's really starting to pick it up, and he's not walking anybody. And then you flip it over to Graham Ashcraft. He didn't even make it out of the second inning his last time out. And if you take a look at his hits, 7, 6, 8, 9, the dude's just getting hit up. So I just think that the Mets, after getting shut out yesterday, should come out with a little bit of more readiness to play today. And like I said, I don't really trust Ashcraft. It's Mets all day for me today.
Cool. Just one bet apiece there. 2 down, 8 games to go. Rangers at Orioles. Prop Beaver, why don't you start us off here?
All right, so I'm going with 2 bets here. I'm going with the Rangers team total over 4.5 for a half a unit. And then I'm going with the over 9 in that game at minus 135. I'm putting 0.75 units on that. And here's the main reason. So we've been seeing runs galore in the first 2 games of this series. And even dating back to last year, the last 4 or 5 games between these teams have all flown over the total. Today we got 2 terrible pitchers here in Spencer Watkins and Glenn Otto, and 2 lineups that have been cranking the ball lately. Watkins, yes, he looked good over his past 2 starts. But if you've seen Watkins, not only this year, but last year, you never know what you can expect from the guy. And if we're talking about expected, the guy's in the 4th percentile of expected ERA and WOBA, while sitting in the 6th and 7th percentile of expected batting average and slugging. I expect Texas to do some damage here and for Watkins to regress. Meanwhile, on the other side, we got Glenn Otto, who's been close to, if not just as bad as Watkins in all those expected numbers. He just surrendered 10 runs through 6 innings to the Mets and the Nats, whose lineups are literally sleeping at the moment. The other thing working for us that I was looking at is that both of these bullpens just got exhausted yesterday after both starting pitchers didn't fare too well, especially the Orioles bullpen. They are extremely taxed heading into this game. We have familiar bullpen arms that the Rangers have already seen yesterday and the day before, and a hot Rangers lineup. I'm definitely not liking that. And the final note here is that since June 20th, Baltimore's 3rd in OPS at home and Texas is 7th in OPS on the road in the same period. I'm expecting some more runs to be scored here. So give me the Rangers team total over 4.5 and the Baltimore Texas over 9.
Well, I mean, I could see, judging by the first 2 games of the series, I definitely could see why you're on the overs. I definitely am not. I am actually fading my beloved Orioles. No one's been betting the Orioles as like I have recently. I've been all over this team, and I just hate them here. I think I like Glenn Otto. I think he's better than... I think he's undervalued, and I know everyone's looking at his last 2 starts. He hasn't been good. Those are his 2 starts back from the injury. I think this is a really good spot for him to kind of get his feet on the ground and kind of take a step towards being the decent starting pitcher that he was before he got hurt. I think Glenn Otto has a great night tonight. And Spencer Watkins... he's not as bad as Prop Beaver will tell you he is. Prop Beaver hates that guy. Or one of those 2 guys. Yeah, it is Prop Beaver. I don't think he's that bad, but I also am not kicking down any doors to back him. The Orioles magic has been crazy, don't get me wrong. And if the Rangers were decent favorites here, apologize. If the Rangers were decent favorites here, I'd be inclined to take Orioles plus 1.5. But they're not. This game's basically a pick'em. So I'll take the Rangers two ways, half unit each. Rangers first 5 money line at minus 122. Rangers full game money line at minus 110. That's a half unit each. Toast, want to take it home?
Yeah, couldn't agree more, or couldn't disagree with more with the both of you. I think Spencer Watkins has absolutely caught fire. He's looked very good his last couple starts. 11 innings, only 1 run, 9 strikeouts to 2 walks. And Glenn Otto, I mean, can the guy even get the ball over the plate? I mean, the walks on walks. He doesn't strike anybody out. Even before the injury, the start before the injury, 5 walks to 4 strikeouts. I mean, so I don't see it. Baltimore playing very, very well. They kind of remind me of like Seattle last year. They just play much better at home, and they're pitching much better at home as well. Beaver touched on the bullpen. They didn't send their closer out yesterday, so they can still close the game. I'm all over Baltimore today. Give me the Baltimore money line minus 110 for a full unit.
Ooh. The Baltimore Orioles might be pitching better at home, but you know who hasn't been pitching better at home? Spencer Watkins.
That's fine. I think he's in great form right now. Not to mention we got Texas on the last game of a 11-game road trip, and then they finally get to come home after losing 2 games in a row to extras. I hate the spot for Texas.
They're ending this shit on a bang. Just watch.
They're facing a sweep, aren't they? Yeah, hell no. All right.
I could care less. They've been facing sweeps this whole time.
All right. Next game. We're kind of all on different shit on that one. Next game. Oh, this one is the shittiest game on the board. Nationals at Phillies. Shit. I'll go first. I would never pass, but I was really close to passing here. Listen, the Nats have lost 6 straight now. This team sucks. There's no other way to slice it. Josiah Gray is pitching, and I know there's going to be a ton of people, well, maybe not a ton, but it's going to draw some people out into maybe a Nationals first 5 bet. And I'm not saying I hate that, but I can't support anything Washington Nationals right now. Yeah, the Phillies have a huge price tag on their heads tonight, but even against Josiah Gray, they got Nola's going. Nola's pitching for him. Nola just saw the Nationals about 2.5, 3 weeks ago and threw 8 scoreless against them with just 4 hits. I really think he's going to own the Nats again, and even with Josiah Gray on the mound, I don't think they can stop him. But the Phillies are so overpriced that I'm going back to Old Faithful, my favorite bet in the book, the old first 5 under 4 at minus 110 for just a half unit, because this is probably my least favorite game on the entire board. But I went first 5 under because the Phillies are just priced too highly. Toast, why don't you go second?
Like the hooligan said in the comments, man, ring that bell. I'm taking the over 8 at minus 104. Fantastic weather tonight in Philadelphia. Plus 34% on the home runs, plus 16% on just run creation in general. Nice 85-degree night out. Phillies might put up 8 themselves, even if the Nats help a little bit. Over 8.75 units for minus 104.
All right.
Or whatever it's at.
All right, so I got 2 bets in this one. So the first one is for a full unit. I'm doing Aaron Nola under 2.5 earned runs. And then I'm also doing Nola to record a win at minus 111 for a half a unit. As Toast was saying, people, just go ahead and look at the Nationals games. Look at their past few games. This team is pathetic. They can't hit jack shit right now. And now we're supposed to expect this team to come into Philly and score runs against Aaron Nola? Stop the madness. Aaron Nola, yes, he's been a bit shakier at home, but when it comes to this Nationals lineup, that's just about bottom 5 in every category over the past week. I'm not having the hardest time fading them here. The last 11 to 13 starting pitchers to face Washington have gone under the mark. And the last 11 to 15 right-handed pitchers versus Washington have gone under the mark. If there's any issue with Nola, it would be the barrel rate. But the Nationals sit bottom 10 in barrel rate this season and 29th in hard hit percentage over the last 2 weeks. So I'm not tripping too much about that one. So 5 times this season he's gone over this mark since the Mets game April 13th. And 5 times after that, he's gone under this mark, averaging just 1.2 earned runs allowed. Nola knows how to bounce back. This is a spot which he's been very dominant against the Nationals. His past 5 to 7 games, he's hit this mark at home versus Washington. And he has great numbers against his current lineup. All the guys that did him trouble, such as a Trey Turner and a Rendon, those guys are gone. So I'm expecting a nice outing for Mr. Nola here. Josiah Gray, I love my boy Josiah Gray. You know I want to bet on him. You do. But the problem is they just saw him. He only allowed 1 run to the 1 hit to the Phillies. I feel like that's almost a little too good. We saw him get lit up last game. I feel like there's some regression due for him, as much as I love him. So yeah.
You didn't say the odds for that Nola bet under 2.5 earned runs.
Minus 145 for a full unit.
Ooh. Beaver's feeling his nuts tonight.
Mm-hmm.
He's trying to bounce back in a big way. He was hot and then had 2 rough days in a row, so he's looking for a bounce back day. Taking home run swings out here. Next game, Yankees at Pirates. Shocker last night. It had me pissed off because when I was capping that game originally, I was like hoping to bet Pirates. There was a few numbers I saw that pointed me to the Pirates, but I didn't have the stones. I didn't have the balls to do it, so I just took a little Bajoina half unit first 5 bet and didn't really get the cash. Toast, you just started us off, so I'll start. All right. So yeah, I want to bet the Pirates, right? Because one, I'm a Mets fan. I like to fade the like a team like the Yankees that is always taking so much action, right? The Yankees, even when they suck, 80% of the money is going to be on them every time. So right off the bat, I want to bet the Pirates. And then Mitch Keller's on the mound, and he has back-to-back really good starts at home. Like, really good. I think his last 2 starts combined is 12 innings pitched, 2 earned runs combined at home. So him at PNC Park, okay, I'm off to a good start. We're on the road leading to a Pirates bet. But his last 2 home starts were against the Giants and the Tigers, who the Tigers may be scoring runs right now. They have 5 right now, but rewind about 2-3 weeks ago, they were not scoring runs at all. So 2 bottom 10 lineups, he did that against, so keep that in mind. Luis Severino on the mound for the Yankees. His home-away splits aren't great. They're not terrible, though. He's definitely better at home, but he's not like a complete shitbag on the road. Like he still produces. Coming off 3 starts where he really hasn't been elite, but again, who was he throwing against? Houston twice, at Toronto, the one before that. Like, I think this guy deserves a little bit of slack cut for him, considering he faced maybe 3 of the hardest lineups back to back to back. I feel like this is the ultimate course correction spot for the Yankees. So I bet the Pirates first 5 yesterday, not doing it today. I'm going to lay the 1.5 with the Yanks. And New York Yankees, minus 1.5. It's at minus 127, and I'll throw a full unit on it. Beaver, yeah, okay.
Yeah. All right. So I feel like I found a glitch in the Matrix, and I actually kind of really like this spot. So I'm going with the Yankees' first 5 team total under 2.5 at plus 100. I'm putting 0.75 units on that. And I'm going with the Pirates' first 5 plus a half run for plus 125. I'm throwing a half unit on that one.
You got to say that slower, bro. You got to. I'm trying to type this as you're going. Yankees' first 5 team total. Yankees' first 5 team total under 2.5 at plus 100 for 0.75.
Yeah.
And then what's the second one?
Pirates first 5 plus 0.5 plus 125 half unit.
You are ballsy. Yo, Beaver is really trying to bring it back tonight.
I'll tell you why. This is actually a weirdly great spot for Mitch Keller. So if there's one thing that Mitch Keller is good at in this world, it's limiting home runs. He's only allowed 1 in his last 8 games. The Yankees lately have been very dependent on the long ball, as they're averaging a cool 3 hits off the last 9 starting pitchers they've faced. In those 9 games, the first 5 total for the Yankees has cashed in 8 of them. And now when I'm looking at the lines for Mitch Keller and earned runs, there's a reason a guy like Mitch Keller has an earned runs line of 2.5. He's allowed 1 run or less in his last 4 or 5 home games. Severino has lost his last 4 or 5 first 5 spots. Keller's covered in his last 3. The Yankees' opponent has hit plus 0.5 in the last 7 of 9 games. Give me both those bets. I'm feeling good about it.
Yo, those are some dope stats you rattled off at the end there.
Thank you.
It's not going to hit, but cool stats.
Probably not. Not at this rate, but we'll see.
Yeah.
That was good analysis, folks. Continue.
I mean, yeah.
I was just looking. You say those things like Mitch Keller at home, so I go look at the teams that he's facing at home. And so I was trying to get a grasp on how well he's pitched against the Reds and the Tigers and the Giants. So
those are some elite lineups.
Yankees minus 1.5 for me, minus 125. I'm envious of Sauce yesterday. It was a shit spot for the Yankees after a holiday when they usually play, coming into Pittsburgh with absolutely no motivation. I should have had that one, but nice one on you, Sauce. But yeah, Yankees for me. I think they rolled today, so minus 1.5 or whatever it is at 0.75.
All right, so me and Toast. 0.75 you want to go. Me and Toast betting the same thing. Beaver on his own island. Trying to make an epic comeback tonight. Next game coming. Tampa Bay at Boston for the weirdest shit of all time. I still haven't figured this out. I don't get this. So you have the Tampa Bay Rays with Corey Kluber on the mound. Now, let's not pretend like he's an ace, but he's a seasoned veteran. He's a decent starting pitcher. Against Boston with a guy who's never thrown a major league pitch before, ever. He's never once thrown a major league pitch. Also, his AAA numbers weren't even good. He was like 2-3 or some shit.
He was 10-4.
Yeah, I thought he was pretty solid.
I saw 2-3. Whatever.
No, you're wrong.
I must have been looking at the wrong team or something. And then Boston's heavily favored, even in the first 5. And the money's on Boston. It doesn't make sense for me. The Rays are also hitting the ball better than Boston right now. I think Tampa Bay has the advantage over Boston almost in every single batting, starting pitching, and possibly bullpen. I have to bet Tampa here. I like it so much that it feels like a trap. I'm going Tampa Bay, first 5 money line. I believe that's at plus 102. Tampa Bay money line at plus 109 or plus 108, I think it was. And I'm going to put a half unit on each. I want to bet it even heavier, but it looks too good to be true. Looks like a trap to me. So Tampa 2 ways. Beaver, why don't you go second?
All right, so we're talking about a weird game. I'm going with a weird-ass bet. I'm doing an SGP. It's going to be a hits allowed parlay, and it's going to be Kluber to allow 4+ hits. And then whatever the first name is, Bello, to allow 5+ hits. That's at minus 115. Bello has much worse numbers in AAA versus the left-handed batters that he's faced. And in his last 5 of 7 starts in the minors, he's allowed 5+ hits. Now he's good in the big leagues, making his first start, and he's going to face 5 of them today. That's not a spot I exactly like to back a guy in. The last 4 or 5 right-handed pitchers to face Tampa Bay have got lit up. And they're averaging 7.8 hits against starting pitchers in that scenario. Meanwhile, Kluber has allowed 4+ hits in 6 straight games and his last 9 of 10 games. Boston had 11 off of him earlier in the season and has cashed in 5 straight versus Kluber. So I just had to create some value. I don't want to pick a side. This shit's the weirdest thing I've ever seen.
You didn't say how much you're betting on it.
Oh, half a unit. I'm not going crazy on this weird-ass game.
All right, I'm pretty sure Toast is on siding with me. So go ahead. You were at the Tampa Bay, right?
Yeah, Tampa Bay money line, full unit at whatever it is now. Look, first of all, this isn't that weird of a number. First of all, anytime you get Boston at home, you're going to get public money. Not to mention the fact that the Rays, in general, for the most people that watch baseball, suck this year compared to what they have been. I understand that Bello has not pitched in the major leagues yet, but he's looked pretty good in the minor leagues. And the only reason that he's not a major leaguer is so they can avoid arbitration and keep that playing time down so they don't have to pay the kid. So that's the only reason he's not in the major leagues. It's not a talent issue. But anyway, Tampa playing great baseball right now. I'm all over this team. I should have played them yesterday. We only played the over in the team total, but they've won 4 of their last 5 games. They're averaging 6.4 runs a game. Not to mention that, do you worry about the Rays going to Boston? Because I don't. Because if you take a look, the Rays are 18-7 their last 25 games in Boston, averaging over 6 runs a game as well. Look, I get it. I get it that the Red Sox at home after getting embarrassed yesterday, but I love the Rays. So I'm taking a full unit on the Rays money line today.
Yeah, I can't not bet them. But I don't get how. See, I know that the Rays were really bad for a while. I remember that. Really, they were underperforming. But I mean, they're 1 game out of Boston. They're 44-37. So
didn't they just sweep Toronto?
Yeah.
Yeah. Public perception is the Rays suck right now.
Oh, I follow you. What you're saying. Well, the public is wrong.
Duh.
All right. Cardinals at Braves. I hit my under on this last night, and I had an under 9, I think it was, and it was 7-1 in like the 3rd inning, and somehow just stuck it out.
Devers is still out for Boston. I just got it. No Devers for Boston.
Oh, okay, no Devers. Type that into the chat so I can see that. So our Rays bets even look even better. It hurts Prop Beaver's weird ass same game parlay pitcher hits though.
Nah, he was 1 of 6 versus Kluber. I can live.
I'm doing a pitcher hits SGP here.
Listen, if you can't see the value, you got to create the value.
I've been going first, so I want to go last on this one. Toast, you just went last. You go first.
I'm going to shock the world. I'm going to take the St. Louis Cardinals on the money line at the big plus price for just a half a unit. Whatever their money line is, I can't find it right now because my computer goes slow when I'm on lives. And I'm also going to take their team total over 3.5. I think it's at minus 125 or minus 120 or something. So I understand how bad the Cardinals have looked on this road trip and whatnot. And I understand how the Braves have looked really good on this road trip. But I do think that the Braves are still a little bit overpriced. And I do think that the Cardinals at this spot are a little undervalued. Obviously, Max Fried has been fantastic. And Michaelis has been up and down, to say the least, coming off of 3 losses or 2 losses and a no decision, but he actually pitched pretty decent. I mean, giving up 2 runs and 1 run in those games, I mean, it's not horrible stuff. So I think the Cardinals line up at this price that it's a little, I just can't pass it up. So I understand that they haven't looked good, but I don't think they're going to stay bad this long. So like I said, Cardinals money line at plus like 145 for half a unit. And the play I really like is the Cardinals team total over 3.5. Make that 0.75 for me, please.
All right. 0.75. All right. Beaver, go second.
All right, I'm doing 2 for this game. I'm doing the under 9 at minus 114. I'm putting a half unit on that. Max Fried has daddied the Cardinals every time he's seen them. I'm not seeing any different today. I don't care about what what is it? I saw some stupid Action article about how the Cardinals will pick today. I wasn't vibing into what was said in it. I thought it was bullshit. There's talking about how the Cardinals are like this mega house team against lefties. Yeah, they had some good starts against lefties lately, but if you look at the overall stretch they've recently faced versus lefties, they've been quite terrible. And now take into account that Max Fried's pitching at night, a spot that he's dominated in. He knows this lineup. He's fucking, as I said before, he's daddied. 219 OBP, 495 OPS. I think he's going to be phenomenal. And then Miles Mikolas has actually looked good against the Braves in his last 3 starts against them. He's been pitching pretty well lately. So I'm not seeing much value in runs being scored here. I know Truist is a hitter's park, but I'm going to put that to the side for now. I think that both these pitchers have a fine outing today. And then I'm also going to do 0.75 units, a Braves money line and a Dodgers money line parlay at plus 108. As I've said before, I'm just not seeing it with the Cardinals. I think Miles Mikolas, as I said, pitches well, but I do think they get a few runs off of him. And then as far as the Cardinals go, the offense has looked flat. I don't know. I think that there's good value here. I'm fine in fading the money that's on the Cardinals. There's a good portion of it on them.
Yeah, there is a lot of money on the Cardinals.
Would you be fine if I did your parlay with the Dodgers minus 1.5 because they've won 40 out of 43 games by 2?
Would you be fine?
Yeah, I actually would be fine.
I would be fine.
Thank you for that. I appreciate that. Thank you.
What, you want me to change it?
Yeah, I'll change it. I don't know what. Let me check what the odds are. Go do your spiel.
All right, I'll do my spiel.
That would be plus 155. Braves money line, Dodgers minus 1.5.
Put that at a half unit then, because that's a fatty.
Oh yeah, fatty.
Okay, so it was plus 155.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow. Watch the Dodgers win by one run now. Like,
I would feel so bad.
Nah, I could live with it. I'm already in the depths of hell at this point. Nothing can faze me.
No. All right, so for the first half of Prop Beaver's spiel, I was completely on board. I'm also on the under. I'm on both unders here. You know what? I'll type them first. Under 9. What would you say it was? Under 9 at minus 114. That's cool with me. Under 9. Yeah, I'm just gonna go half unit on each. And then first 5 under, what was that 4.5?
You guys are really testing the gambling gods with these unders and truest.
I've had a lot of success with these unders.
Yeah,
dude,
you've gotten
I'm
two
underlord.
very, very lucky ones back to back. That's why I'm saying you're really testing these.
No, not just yesterday. I've been doing a lot of first 5 unders since we started doing the live. It's like my signature bet. Yeah, they went under yesterday, right? I said a couple days ago that I think the Cardinals just mail it in with these bats for the rest of this road trip because they are just looking so bad. And I'm not saying they can't win the game, but if they win, I think it'll be low scoring. I think they'll win as a result of just the Braves coming out looking worse, to be honest. Now, what Beaver said about the Cardinals against lefties, it's weird because he's right. If you look at just their OPS numbers, they actually hit lefties well, and recently. But then if you go look at the games, those impressive OPS numbers just aren't translating into wins. In fact, some of them it's like 2 or 3 runs. So I can't trust them. I'm just going to go both unders here. And wait, so last night these two teams went under, and in my opinion, a much stronger pitching matchup here between Mikolas and Max Fried. Definitely under 9, under 4.5, half unit apiece for me.
That's actually a great point, Kyle. Yeah, this is a much better pitching matchup. Payante got his ass lit up yesterday. And Ian Anderson allowed like 10 hits, but didn't allow any runs, which was whatever.
He implied the bend, don't break philosophy.
Yep.
Okay. Royals at Astros. I have such a cop-out bet on this one. Like, want to talk about zero creativity? I did the same. Okay.
I'm taking the Royals. I'm not going to take their money line again, but I bet you whoever was betting Houston yesterday got a little sweaty after that. Royals team total over 2.5 at minus 125. Understand how great Christian Javier has been, but the Royals are just scoring runs, and they've hit over 3 runs in 9 of their last 10 games. I'm getting a small number at a small price in a juice box of Minute Maid Park. Royals team total over 2.5, minus 125 for 0.75 units.
0.75. I like that. Is that 9 of the last 10 you said?
Correct.
Damn.
I like that as well.
I like that. I'm not going to just jack it on the show, but I will be tailing that.
Why not?
No, I did the same. I did the same exact thing I did yesterday, and it's such a cop-out, but I honestly think it hits again. Houston and Dodgers moneyline parlay, man. It's all the way up at minus 130, which sucks. But
Why are you guys betting Dodgers money line? You guys not listen to me at all, ever? No one listens to me.
It's not enough sample size for me to change something like that.
How much of a sample size would you need?
Like a few hundred games. Maybe.
I can go back 2 years, and that still works.
Perhaps. That's not how I do it. I would need to see overall the run line, the favorite run line consistently cashing more than the money line. Like, not just with the Dodgers, just as a whole. Because I really, really don't like laying 1.5 in any circumstance. I just hate it. All right. So, yeah, there's really nothing I can say. Christian Javier against the Royals, I can't see them losing. I feel like the Royals metaphorically blew their load in this series. They scored 6 runs and 7 runs on Monday and Tuesday and lost both games. Like, I feel like they gave it all they had to steal one of these games from Houston and couldn't do it. I think the Royals win comfortably. It's not exactly a hot take there. And then Dodgers, we'll talk about that game in a couple. So, Prop Beaver.
All right. So I'm going with Brad Keller under 3.5 Ks. I got that at plus 122. I'm putting 0.75 units on that one. I'm just gonna read this verbatim from my notes, and I'm a fatty, so I could say this. This fatty boom batty sucks. His last start against the Astros, he pitched 6 innings pitched and managed just 1 strikeout. The last 5 or 6 starting right-handed pitchers at Houston have gone under the mark. He's averaging 2.6 Ks. And if you go back further in the history, I didn't have time to do all this because I was trying to get my plays together. But I think it's about just the last 18 to 25 have cashed it, and we're getting it at a plus price. So I'm loving my chances here. Keller's 9th in K percentile, 8th in whiff percentile, 33rd in chase percentile. Those are not impressive numbers. Not only does his K percentage drop on the road, but it drops pretty drastically versus right-handed batters. He's going to be seeing 7 of those today. In those situations, his K percentage is just 9.8%. That suggests he'd have to see 40 batters to hit this total. I don't see that happening. I think he sucks. He might absolutely get shelled here. I'm not a fan of his. So I'm fading him. That's an easy bet.
All right, under 3.5 strikeouts at plus 122.
He stinks.
0.75 is a strong bet for plus 122. Good for you. Good for you, son. All right.
Dude, the Astros just don't strike out. I don't know what to say.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. You would just shit on Brad Keller. He was looking like... Actually, you know what? He has fallen off.
Who was he looking good against?
The Detroit Tigers? I remember I picked him... I remember I picked him up in fantasy. There was a period of time where it looked like he was going to put together a good season. But admittedly, that was like 6 weeks ago. Next game. 2 games left. Giants at D-backs. Prop Beaver, you just finished, so why don't you start this one?
All right, so listen, I'm finally turning here. I'm finally turning the pages. I don't know why I bet on the Giants yesterday. That was truly terrible. But I'm finally going to the D-backs, people. It's game 3 of the series. Let's ride. This is a terrible spot for Alex Cobb. They're worse on the road. He's worse on the road. He's worse against lefties, and he's worse at night. That's awful considering he's about to see 7 of them in this Arizona lineup. D-backs have scored 3+ off the last 4 or 5 right-hand pitchers to face them. Meanwhile, Merrill Kelly has some history against the Giants, but he's been better at home and versus left-handed batters. Majority of that San Fran lineup, and I don't need to tell you guys how bad the San Fran lineup is. We talk about it every single day. So I'm putting a half a unit on the Arizona first 5 money line, plus 105. And I'm putting a half unit on the Arizona first 5 team total over 1.5. I got that at minus 125. I think that's great value.
Say that one more time. So Arizona first 5 team total.
Over 1.5, minus 125.
Yeah. Next.
Half unit.
Half unit. Next.
And then Arizona first 5 money line. Plus 105. Half unit.
Yep. Beaver continues to bet with reckless abandon. I'll go second. Let me just put this in a better spot. All right, so for me, shit, I did it again. All right, so that Arizona plus 1.5, loved it last night. Me and Toast both got that. Felt good. But Alex Cobb is not Alex Wood. I significantly trust Cobb more than Wood. I mean, I'm not saying Cobb's an ace, but I trust him more than I trust Alex Wood. Also, the pricing in this one, way more reasonable. What were the Giants yesterday? Minus 180 favorites? That was ridiculous. Minus 127? That makes a little more sense. I still think they're a tad overpriced in this spot against Merrill Kelly on the road, but minus 127 makes more sense to me. I could get behind something like that. Really, this one comes down to, I don't think either of these lineups are very good, and I think both of these starting pitchers are pretty solid. So I'm going to take two bets here. First one, under 8.5 at minus 110 for a half unit. And I'm betting the Giants money line at minus 127 for a half unit. I'm not going to smack it, but I still think I think at this price, this would be the time to hit the Giants. Once they win one, they'll be overpriced again because they're not that great of a baseball team, but I don't think they're that terrible either. Toast? You're muted. Hello?
I'm in the same spot as you. You can hear me, right? Okay. Yeah. I'm in the same spot as you. I'm on the Giants today. I actually really like the Giants today. So I'm going to take them for a full unit on the money line, and I'm also going to give them a half a unit at minus 1.5 at plus 125 or whatever the number is.
Wow. I was not expecting that.
I know, right? Here's why. I like Alex Cobb. I think that he's going to be one of the guys that is going to be successful for a while. Again, I've talked about it. The Giants brought him over. He's looked really good his last couple of starts. I think he's starting to feel that momentum. Merrill Kelly, you flip it over, still decent, but he does pitch worse at home. Again, it's a little bit of play on the number with the Giants losing so many in a row. And if you take a look at the Giants when they do win games, 4 of their last 5 wins they've won by 2 runs or more. So when they do win, they win by margin. So that's why I'm sprinkling that run line. Not to mention they are the road team, so we're going to get those full 9 at bats.
Damn, so 1.5 units here. Toast really likes the Giants. I can see it because I can tell by the way that you were describing it that we saw it the same way. Cobb over Wood all day. And I think people mix those two up sometimes because their names are so similar, but they're not the same pitcher. So Beaver stands alone on the other side. Oh, shit. All right. Yo, props to... I know. Props to... He went first thinking he was coming to jump on our side, and we both bailed and went the other way. I think you're muted, Beaver. Can you? You can't hear him, right? All right. Well, he'll go last on this last game while he figures that out.
I need to charge this bitch. Jesus.
Oh, you're back now. All right. Well, one game left. We'll get through it real quick. And I'll go first because I'm familiar with this guy, Jose Urena. Toast, you remember him on the Tigers last year?
Oh, yeah.
I like him just because I was rooting for the Tigers last year. I'm not going to really vouch for this dude being any sort of elite starter. One thing I will say, he's pretty good at keeping the ball on the ground. And that's about the only positive thing you can say about the guy. Yeah. Since he was on the Tigers last year, I saw he came in relief for the Brewers earlier in the season. They cut him. Now the Rockies grabbed him, and he will be throwing his first pitches as a Colorado Rocky tonight in this start. Yo, I looked over at this game. I think it's not a bad spot for the over. It's not going to be my play. My play, I already said it. It's my my Dodgers Astros parlay, and I'll get it right back up on the screen now. But if I was to place an extra bet on this game, which I'm not, I would say I would look at the over because the Colorado probably is capable of scoring on Mitch White. He's nothing special, but I think the Dodgers win the game. Like Toast said, the run line always cashes for them. I'm not buying into it, but if it's like what 58 out of 60 or some shit, it's kind of hard to argue with those numbers. Beaver, are you ready to go before your mic dies?
Yeah, we got nothing.
All right. Can you hear me?
Yeah, there he's back. Now he's back.
All right, word. Yeah, no. So as I said before, I'm just doing that parlay. Braves money line, Dodgers money line plus 108. No, Dodgers minus 1.5. At plus 155 or whatever I think it was. Yeah.
Got it. All right, Toast, you have the floor.
Yeah, I'm actually going to go to the over that you said. First 5, over 5 at minus 120. I think it's juiced for a reason. Dodgers smack up righties pretty well. And Mitch White's been all right, but I still think the Rockies might be able to get 1 or 2 off of him. So at 5, I think that's a really good number. So over 5, 0.75 units at minus 125.
Cool. All right, so we are through all of the games. Before we close up, I'm going to give out one. I have 3 parlays tonight, but I'm going to only give out one on the show. The other 2 go to the VIP ticket for those who have the app. So I'll go ahead and type my parlay in now. Let's break it up because you've been going first on the hit parlay. So let me type in mine first. It's just a 2-legger, just a nice little 2-legger. I got the Miami Marlins money line. And I got the Tampa Bay Rays money line, both dogs. And those 2 teams alone, those 2 legs come out to an even plus 370. I think that's solid 2 legs. Obviously a lot easier to hit than some of those 4. I gave it a 4-leg on yesterday's show, which was just dumb. It only went 2 for 2. It's not even like I lost by 1. So, all right, Toast, you have a hit parlay ready for us?
Yeah, I do. Freddie Freeman of the Dodgers, obviously. Yadi Diaz of the Rays and Starling Marte of the Mets. I think it comes back at like plus 127 or something like that. I can't remember. I'm sorry.
So this is the hit parlay, and it goes back at around 127. Okay. And Prop Beaver, I think that's a hit parlay for us.
I do have a hit parlay, little something fun. So it also starts with Freddie Freeman, and then I'm doing Brandon Crawford and JD Martinez for plus 163.
Plus 163. Why is yours so much? Oh, is Crawford a higher payout?
Crawford has much lower odds than Starling Marte is like minus 380 to get a hit today. So that's probably
really wow.
Yeah.
All right, so that's it. Thanks everyone for joining, and I'm sorry about the comments today. As soon as the stream started, the comment thing went blank, and I didn't want to try to fix it and fuck the stream up because we got. So you guys know I usually have comments going up there. Those will be back tomorrow. Tomorrow's Thursday. Thursday sucks for MLB. I'll tweet out when we're gonna do the show, probably early afternoon.
Tomorrow's not that bad. There's only 2 games in the morning, or 3 games in the morning, and everything else starts late, so it's actually decent.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So
there's also a good amount of games for Thursday.
All right. Cool. So we'll be back tomorrow around the same time. Then I'll tweet it out when I post the standings for tonight, and I'll give you an exact time like I usually do. So thanks everyone for joining. Sorry for the confusion with the wrong link in the beginning. Like I said, I'm new at this producer shit. So everyone have a great night. Let's make some money. Let's go Kyle for 3 days straight in the green. Let's go. Everyone have a good one. All right. I think we are officially off.